Back in 1997, a racing game by the name of TOCA Touring Cars was released. 25 years later and the series is still going, although we now call it Grid. Grid Legends is a solid entry in the series and a fun, enjoyable arcade racer. In our review, we praised Grid Legends for its fast and furious racing, variety of disciplines, and revolutionary online multiplayer. The well-publicised Driven to Glory story mode has its shortcomings, but Grid Legends is a significant improvement over the forgettable 2019 Grid reboot. Yet it seems to have become 2022's first racing game flop. Why? Well, it was released just 1 week before another racing game, some obscure title called Gran Turismo 7. You probably haven't heard of it. It's safe to say releasing so close to Gran Turismo 7 has harmed sales for Grid Legends, so should Codemasters and EA have held back Grid Legends? I'm Mark from Racing Games, and today I'm here to say Grid Legends should have been delayed. Even if for no other reason than to keep it away from Gran Turismo 7's release, we should have been made to wait for Grid just a little bit longer. It's safe to say Grid Legends has had a very slow start. On release day, Grid Legends was notably absent on Amazon UK's 100 best-selling games list, and according to GamesIndustry.biz, Grid Legends debuted at number 18 in the UK game charts for the week ending the 26th of February. The PS5 version was the most popular, accounting for 56% of sales, followed by the Xbox at 26% and the PS4 at 17%. It's worth noting that this doesn't take digital game sales into account, but even so, Grid Legends' chart debut is alarmingly low for a new release, especially one backed by a major publisher like EA. On PC, initial player numbers are also worryingly low. Data compiled by SteamDB shows that player numbers peaked at a paltry 455 during the launch period. For comparison, Forza Horizon 5 has had an all-time peak of 81,096 players, again according to SteamDB. I must admit, this isn't looking like a great launch so far. Before we move on, have you subscribed to Racing Games yet? Just one click and you're on the Racing Games grid. Oh, and hit that notification bell too so you never miss an upload. Alright, on with the video. There are a few factors that could be contributing to this. First, the release timing is terrible to say the least. Grid Legends launched a mere week before Gran Turismo 7, one of the biggest and most anticipated games of the year. It's going to face some stiff competition, but Grid Legends effectively entered the race with a flat tyre. Unlike GT7, Grid Legends is a multi-platform release, but with the PS5 version proving more popular than other formats, sales inevitably suffered further when GT7 crossed the line the next week. Grid has a fan base, but it simply can't compete with the considerable hype surrounding Gran Turismo 7. For PlayStation gamers, the release of a new Gran Turismo game feels like a special event. These games don't release very often. GT Sport launched in 2017, while Gran Turismo 6, the last numbered entry, released all the way back in 2013. If most cash-strapped PlayStation racing fans can only buy one racing game right now, it is going to be Gran Turismo 7. February was also a surprisingly crowded month. The number of new game launches over the last few weeks was unprecedented, with notable new releases like Horizon Forbidden West, Dying Light 2, and Elden Ring straining gamers' budgets. Without question, Grid Legends should have been delayed to steer clear of this crowded period. Even a short delay would have helped Codemasters' new racer stand out and given it a better chance to succeed. Moving the release to April or May would have given the game more room to breathe after Gran Turismo 7. With MotoGP 22 currently the only major racing game slated for April, Grid Legends would have gotten the spotlight it deserves. A release in April or May would have still prevented Grid Legends from clashing with F1 2022 in the summer too. Unfortunately, this isn't the first time poor timing has jeopardized sales of EA published games. Recently, EA blamed Battlefield 2042's disappointing sales on Halo Infinite's close release. Let's also not forget the tragedy of Titanfall 2. Respawn's revered sci-fi shooter was sandwiched between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare in 2016, and its sales suffered as a result. Grid Legends seems to have suffered the same fate. It begs the question, why didn't EA apply the brakes and delay Grid Legends? Ultimately, it probably comes down to sales targets. After a $1.2 billion acquisition, EA now owns Codemasters. Grid Legends was most likely pushed out of the paddock to maximise EA's sales results for the 2022 fiscal year, which ended just this week. Grid Legends is not a bad game by any stretch, but after a month since release, it seems a delay would have also allowed Codemasters the chance to iron out some of the kinks. I'm having to really nitpick here, but there are some features that, in my opinion, could have benefited from some small tweaks here and there. The biggest bugbear for me is when you unlock new emblems in Driven to Glory or Career Mode. You never see the emblem you've just unlocked, instead you see a generic logo. This is definitely something I would like to see changed, but besides minor grumbles, I enjoy playing Grid Legends a lot. Personally, I'm not a huge petrol head, so Gran Turismo 7's history lesson on cars doesn't really interest me. I much prefer hard racing, or at least sliding a car into your rival on every corner, so Grid Legends is a much better choice for me. To each their own though, and I'm sure there are many out there who disagree with me. Do you think Grid Legends should have been delayed? Whether you agree with me or not, let us know what you think in the comments below. For now though, thanks for watching. I've been Mark from Racing Games, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and now I'm off to prepare my apology to the other drivers in the Grid series. I've got a big race coming up, and my car's about to hit harder than Will Smith at the Oscars.